usually speaking, when people move to the developed world, there's a culture shock because they look up. They're like, oh wow, there's McDonald's here or whatever. Without being arrogant, for me and my mum, it was actually, the culture shock was slightly the other way around, because we were looking around the area and the school that I had to go to, a comprehensive school, obviously state school. The standards were low. I was in year 10, 11, and we were doing algebra that I did when I was 6 years old in Iran. So for me, it was like, what is going on here? But one thing was quite clear. For me and my mum, despite the fact that technically it was a bit of a downgrade in terms of the standards of living, like the flats and everything else, we were still so grateful that we had finally opportunities and freedoms and got embraced by the generosity of this nation. And we were looking around, and people in those areas, obviously the more urban working class areas, everybody around me was complaining, even back then, the beautiful Labour government, that this is the worst country in the world, we're all going to die, and this is just the worst thing ever, Britain, England. And me and Mum was confused. We were like, what are they complaining about? I can show you oppression if you want to see oppression. I will show you actual poverty if you want to see poverty. You know, you're paying for your Sky TV, you're getting your cigarettes, and you're having 3 kids on benefits, and you're complaining that you don't have enough money. I could show you actual poverty. So, but my mother always taught me, because of this country saving her, and of course me, not only we have to be grateful, thankful every day, but also give something back. That was our duty, to become nationalists in this country. If this is going to be your new home, you need to embrace it. Don't always see yourself as the guest who was welcomed, but you have to make this your home. There are still many people, and many well-meaning migrants, immigrants in general, because they are from certain cultures, even if they want to integrate, they just can't. There's something in the back of their head, because of the pride that they have for their own original culture and heritage. They always would see themselves as foreigners. This country is really too actually soft but welcoming. You can easily integrate compared to like migrants in Germany or France. You can never become German, you can never become French or Danish, but here you can become British if you want to. Yeah.
Can I ask you, with that opinion on it, because America and Britain played quite a pivotal role, I believe, in the Islamic Revolution of your country. So that means our governments played a role in the enslavement of your country's people. Do you? Because so many people justify their anger against the hatred of Britain, whether it be some of the Irish would have done, they still hate, they don't now, but they would have done. Many people talk about history with the British Empire. It wasn't that long ago that Britain had an involvement in what now has taken the freedoms away from Persian people in Iran.
Yes.
How do you sit on that?
It is interesting.
Because
obviously there were the British had parts of the south of Iran a little bit, and the Russians in the north. Oil was involved, and then the Shah of Iran, obviously back in the 50s, called America saying, can you come help me get rid of these guys? So Iran and America got close. And then in the 70s, America and Britain and France betrayed the Shah. So they actually trained the Islamic occupiers because they didn't want the communists from Soviet to take over. So you're right. There's been, the Western globalists did certain things. But having said that, there's something, I have spoken to many other Iranians and Persian Iranians and other Iranians in the West and here. Most of them have the same thinking as my mother. Because I think that the Iranian culture is rich, like the Anglo-Saxons. So, for example, the Persians don't see themselves as Asians. We're different. We're just here. And they have the story about their origins and their actual ethnicities and everything else. They had also empires and kings. The Iranians, like my mother and myself, we move on.
Yeah, because most Iranians that I've met in the West are very patriotic for Britain. Most. Yeah, because... And that's the thing, I look and think, but would I be angry as well? Would I be angry?
So you're right, there are other cultures, even as you said, the Irish against the Brits, if you have an Irish living in London, They're taking advantage of the opportunities of London, but they still have a problem with what happened 100 years ago.
Well, it gets to Paddy's Day and everyone sings IRA songs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Luton's like, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, Luton, so my mum was Irish. It gets to St Patrick's Day and you've got loads of kids who've never been to Ireland standing on tables singing IRA songs. It's like, what are you doing?
I know, absolutely. But I think most of the Iranians, and especially the Persian Iranians, they understand things happen in history. They're pragmatic people. Also, it will be pot kettle, because they've also gone around in things under the Persian Empire. They know that was business. Yeah. And but they also, there are some weird coincidental similarities between the Persian culture and the British culture, which I can't really provide any scientific evidence, but in terms of attitude, compared to other neighboring countries and cultures in the Middle East, and of course even Europe, both Persians and Brits have the self-deprecating humor, sarcasm, dry humor, that politeness, holding the door. When you go to, like, for example, I don't know, France, every time you visit, like, Paris, you were like, why is this person not holding the door? Or stand on the right side of the escalators. But those attitudes are similar, the Persians and the Brits. So I think that's why it's easier to integrate.